Inaugural meeting of the APC's Presidential Campaign Council holds in Abuja. President Buhari advises the media in Nigeria on going the extra mile to avoid fake news stories. And new senior special assistant to the President on National Assembly matters comes on board. Hello and welcome to Panorama, reaching you live on the largest television network in Africa, the NTA. I am Bintu Aliu Sumon. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari has warned against complacency in the governing All Progressives Congress, saying efforts should be intensified towards maximizing the scale and extent of the party's victory. President Buhari, however, expressed absolute confidence in the ability of the APC to retain power after the forthcoming general elections. This was at the inaugural meeting of the Presidential Campaign Council. State House correspondent Adam Sambo has the details.
The meeting is convened to, among others, consider and approve the structure and operational modalities of the Presidential Campaign Council, the terms of reference of the various directorates, and the organogram that will determine how members relate with each other towards effectively discharging their responsibilities. This, President Muhammadu Buhari said, is a critical pathway towards a smooth electioneering campaign and victory for the party and all its candidates.
There is no doubt that victory is with us. It is ours. But that shouldn't mean we should rest even for a moment. Even though we are confident of winning, I urge you to work as hard as you can so that we can maximize the scale and extent of our victory. Rise to the challenge of the great expectations this party and Nigerians have for you and the confidence that I personally have in the ability of all of you to deliver.
While expressing gratitude to the APC family members for once again entrusting him with the responsibility of leading the campaign, the president harped on the need for decision-making to be collective at all times. This, he said, is to enhance the effectiveness of the vote-seeking crusade.
I would like to appeal to dedicate and commit yourself once again to the task at hand. You are the cream of the party, and I assure you that with unity of purpose and effective harmony and communication, there is no political opponent you cannot overcome.
During the inauguration of the Campaign Council last Monday, the president told the nation that a victory for the governing APC is a victory for all well-meaning Nigerians who are committed to change for a sustainable future. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
More campaign reports as the people of Gombe State have been called upon to vote overwhelmingly for the candidates of the All Progressives Congress in the 2019 general elections. This was when Vice President Yemi Osinbajo flagged off the All Progressives Congress governorship campaign in the state. State House correspondent Jide Onifade has the details.
There are more than 1.3 million eligible voters in Gombe State, and this is as revealed by the Independent National Electoral Commission. These are spread across the 11 local government areas of the state, and Kaltungo, where the campaign takes place, is one of them. Elated Vice President Yemi Osinbajo assures the people that they would not be disappointed by the party and President Muhammadu Buhari if re-elected, and would do the best to improve the lives of all Nigerians. The Vice President presents candidates of the party in the 2019 gubernatorial election in Yahaya to the people, urging them to cast their votes rightly.
So I believe very strongly, and all of us, every one of us must know that APC is for all of us. APC is for Gombe. Gombe is for APC. When I say APC, you say next level. APC
Vice President Osinbajo on arrival paid courtesy visit to Emir of Kaltungo, Salem Mohammedu. Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Now, the opposition in Kwara State have been cautioned to desist from injecting religious and ethnic sentiments in the ongoing campaigns in the state. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed says they should rather give account of their stewardship, which has spanned decades. The minister made this remark in Ilorin at a mobilization and sensitization meeting for APC women leaders in the state. Anthony Forson has the details.
In their colorful attires, they came from the 16 local governments of the state. The Information and Culture Minister, Lai Mohammed, began by commending them for keeping faith with the party and their resolve to work for the liberation of Kwara State.
The main issues here have to do with how our state has been governed in the last 40 years. By one dominant group. What has happened in those 40 years? We are talking about a mafia that has cornered our collective wealth. Where are our roads? Where are the infrastructure? How can they justify the huge resources that have flowed to the state?
He appealed to them not to be swayed by the fake news and hate speech being reeled out to convince them to remain in captivity. On the national scene, the minister charged them to engage the opposition constructively.
They said it is because of Buhari that they have not developed Kwara State. We asked them, when did Buhari become president? 3.5 years ago. They have been in control for more than 20 years. Where are the roads they built?
State chairman of the party, who congratulated the women leaders, said the party is positioned to carry the women along in this new dawn as against the old order. On her part, the state women leader was quick to call for an all-inclusive movement to salvage the state from what she described as shackles of tyranny. In two separate lectures tied to how women can effectively be team players, Mero Mustafa and Sadia Baki all charged the women to rise to the occasion and ensure that they are carried along rather than work against their women folks. The consensus at the forum was hinged on working on issues of how to enthrone good governance in Kwara State. From Ilorin in Kwara State, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
From Kwara, we move to Ogun State, where the people have been urged to turn out en masse and vote for President Buhari in the February presidential election. This was the thrust of the Ogun State Governor, Ibikunle Amosun's message as he commenced his word-to-word senatorial campaign in Ewekoro local government area of the state. Lekon Agbonde reports.
Moving from coast to coast, the senatorial campaign train of Governor Ibikunle Amosun toured the 10 wards in Ewekoro local government area of the state as he commences word-to-word campaign. From Obada to Awowo to Wasimi, Papa, Elere and other wards in the local government area, the enthusiastic people of the area welcomed the campaign team amidst pomp and pageantry. Expressing his desire to continuously serve and give his best to his people, Amosun promised to further make use of his experience in government to make life easier and better for the people of the senatorial district. Governor Amosun, while urging the people to jealously protect their franchise by not allowing anybody to deceive them and rob them of their PVC in the name of unrealistic promises, he enjoined them to rather come out en masse and cast their votes to re-elect President Buhari in the coming presidential election.
It's not just my election, no. The very first one that we must all do is the one for President Muhammadu Buhari.
Leaders and people of the area say the resume of the governor placed him in good stead to further engender good governance in favor of the people if elected. In Abeokuta, Lekon Agbonde, NTA News.
Similarly, presidential candidate of the Young People's Party, Kingsley Moghalu, says when elected as the president of Nigeria, he will embark on constitutional restructuring that will abolish 3 tiers of government. He made this known while featuring on the 2019 edition of The Candidates, an interactive session organized for candidates of 4 political parties ahead of the forthcoming polls. Salihu Abdullahi reports.
The interactive session provides a unique platform for direct interaction between the presidential and vice presidential candidates of the leading political parties in Nigeria and the citizens. The maiden edition of the program, tagged The Candidates, featured Kingsley Moghalu and his running mate, Umar Getso of the Young Progressives Party. For about 2 hours, they spoke on their agenda for the nation as it affects key sectors of economy, education, and security.
My proposal for constitutional restructuring is one: we must return Nigeria to a proper federation. That federation should be based on geopolitical and geoeconomic zones, not states. There is a lot of economic advantage, a lot of economies of scale that come from a regional approach to economic development rather than many states which today are not viable fiscally.
Opportunity given to me to bring out what I have for Nigerians. It's a kind of lifetime dream. I've always dreamed of a way to see how I can impact the lives of a typical Nigerian. And it's not about gender only, but it is still about gender, because according to Professor Kingsley Moghalu's book, he's going to give us 50-50 gender equity in his government.
The event, put together by the Nigerian Television Authority and Daria Media in partnership with MacArthur Foundation, provided an opportunity for Nigerians to hear directly from the candidates and to ask questions on governance and nation building. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
In the meantime, the African Democratic Party has implored candidates vying for elective offices to dwell on issues during campaigns in line with the party's manifesto. This was the central message at the enlarged meeting of all candidates of the party in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf reports.
The meeting is basically to take stock and chart a way forward as the general elections draw near. Presidential candidate of the party, Yaba Gisani, briefed participants on his visit to some eminent Nigerians to solicit their support in his quest to lead Nigeria.
Oil and gas sector is a promise of greatness for this country, and we want to ensure that Nigerians get the benefit of what God has given to us. I can do it. I know what I'm talking about.
Other speakers are optimistic that the party will emerge victorious in the coming elections.
I have an unassailable national security credentials amongst all the candidates in Plateau. None of them has my background in national security. And the most pressing problem in Plateau today is security. And that's what I want to come and tackle head on.
They promised to remain civil in their campaign engagements. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Now, in another development, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, has reiterated his commitment to restructure Nigeria if elected president. This was at the party's presidential rally in Minna, Niger State. Timothy Yusuf again reports.
The PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar reminded the people of Niger State that PDP was in power until 2015, stressing that the party is poised to reclaim power with a promise to improve on the nation's economy, security, and the general well-being of the people.
This is a promise and a commitment I am making on behalf of PDP, and if you vote for PDP.
Other speakers, including the Director General of the PDP Presidential Campaign Organization and President of the Senate, Dr. Bukola Saraki, the party's National Chairman, Uche Secondus, as well as the immediate past Governor of the state, Dr. Muazu Babangida Aliyu, say a vote for all PDP candidates in the forthcoming general elections will move Nigeria to her pride of place. Meanwhile, the Kwara State chapter of the People's Democratic Party has flagged off its statewide campaign for the forthcoming elections in Bode, Saadu, Moro local government area. The president of the Senate, Dr. Bukola Saraki, and other speakers enjoined the people of the state to cast their ballots for all PDP candidates for socio-economic development of the state. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Now, Umar Ibrahim El Yaqub has been appointed as the new Senior Special Assistant to the President on National Assembly Matters, House of Representatives. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, indicates that this follows the resignation of Honorable Kawu Sumaila. He resigned to contest for membership of the House of Representatives, representing Sumaila Takai Federal Constituency in Kano State under the ticket of the APC. The Buhari Media Organization has commended the federal government for reaching an agreement with the Nigerian Labour Congress on the protracted national minimum wage issue. In a statement signed by its chairman, Ni Akinsiju, and Secretary Kasidi Madueke, the group said it is elated that with the latest memorandum of understanding signed between NLC and the federal government, a bill for the 30,000 naira minimum wage will be presented to the National Assembly for consideration and enactment into law. The statement also criticizes the PDP and its presidential candidates for wishing hardship on Nigerians over the same issue and lauds the Buhari administration for resolving many intractable social problems that in the past posed a huge challenge to Nigerians. The group votes with satisfaction that noted with satisfaction that the Buhari administration is meeting the expectations of Nigerians and urges Nigerians to keep faith by re-electing President Muhammadu Buhari and Professor Yemi Osinbajo for a second term. Now we take a commercial break. We'll be back after that. Stay tuned.
The struggle for independence had been a long and tough one. Our founding fathers and compatriots sacrificed their comfort and even shed their blood. We cannot at this point in history afford to spirit away their sacrifices for immediate but temporary gains of today. Let us emphasize what unites and not what divides us. Working for the unity of purpose with a stronger vision for a better tomorrow. NTA, growing with the nation.
Together, no matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together. Let's stop fighting each other. Let us live as one. It doesn't matter where you come from, your tribe or religion, man, woman or child. It doesn't matter who you are. Put Nigeria first. No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together. How can we develop when we're always in crisis? Families have become refugees in their country. No matter our differences, show some understanding. No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together.
Nigeria, the only country we can train with remarkable potentials to excel. Let us believe in ourselves and change our attitude for the sake of our country and generations unborn. Let us revive our cultural values, which are our essence as a nation. Let us renew the spirit of patriotism and hope in our dear country. Do not take or give bribe. Be punctual always. No more African time. We can't expect to be global citizens and operate on African time. Join the queue. Insist that people are attended to on a first-come basis, no matter who they are or where they come from.
Nigeria, good people, great nation.
Thanks for staying tuned. President Muhammadu Buhari has advised the media in the country to make extra efforts to report actual and reliable information, avoid fake news stories, and ensure that facts form the basis of all news reports. This was while receiving Jemmy Angus, the Executive Director of the BBC World Service at the State House in Abuja, congratulating the BBC for the high reputation it earned through difficult times, such as the period of the Nigerian Civil War. He commended BBC's dissemination of news to the vast communities in different languages, especially Hausa across the Sahel region, and Igbo, Yoruba, and Pidgin in Nigeria. The BBC team explained their plans for coverage of the upcoming elections in the country, including state governorship debates, as well as the just concluded conference sponsored by the broadcasting organization to tackle the growing menace of fake news. Now, the Nigerian government has signed a memorandum of understanding with China aimed at building capacity of military personnel in the fight against insurgency. Victor Azu reports that the Minister of Defense, Mansur Ali, represented Nigeria.
See you again. Promise made, promise kept. This warm handshake between the Minister of Defense, Mansur Ali, and the Chinese ambassador to Nigeria, Dr. Zijuping Jian, signals the signing of a memorandum of understanding worth 50 million Chinese yuan to support the Nigerian military in its fight against insurgency.
President Xi also reached a consensus with President Buhari to further boost our bilateral relations, including military-to-military relations. And from our side, the Chinese side is willing to provide another 50 million Chinese yuan for the capacity building for Nigerian military.
While thanking the Chinese government, Nigeria's Minister of Defense acknowledges the need for international cooperation in the war on terror.
Insurgency is not a single country's problem. It's a global problem which all nations should come together and fight it together. I thank you most sincerely for coming, and we really appreciate the gesture done to us.
The commitment to support Nigeria's military was made in Beijing last September during bilateral talks between President Muhammadu Buhari and President Xi Jinping. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
In its effort to wipe out remnants of Boko Haram terrorists that now go by the appellation of Islamic State of West Africa Province, the gallant troops of the newly formed Nigerian Army Special Forces Command Operation Lafia Doli have given the terrorists that attacked troops' location in Baga a bloody nose. A statement by the Director, Army Public Relations, Sani Kukasheka Usman, says the triumphant troops, particularly the highly revered 707 Special Forces Brigade, which is the vanguard of the great exploit, neutralized several terrorists and recovered arms and ammunition. Unfortunately, in the process, the Special Forces lost one officer and soldier, while other soldiers sustained injuries. The remains of the two fallen heroes and the wounded have since been evacuated. Meanwhile, the army has called on the citizens, especially those within the Maiduguri metropolis, to cooperate and support the ongoing fight against insurgency. This is coming on the heels of credible information and evidence that some elements of Boko Haram terrorists have infiltrated some villages on the fringes of Maiduguri town in a bid to further intensify their psychological war and instill fear on the citizens. A statement by the Deputy Director, Public Relations, Colonel Onyema Mwachuku, says these terrorists have been going about threatening innocent citizens, warning them to vacate their homes, compelling several inhabitants to move out of their ancestral homes. The army urges members of the public to promptly report the presence of suspicious persons or avail the security agencies of information about such persons, as failure to report will be viewed seriously as collaboration with the Boko Haram terrorists. Now, the Minister of Defense has closed some routes in Abuja as part of activities to ensure a smooth celebration of this year's Armed Forces Remembrance Day parade. A statement by the Acting Director, Defense Information, Brigadier General John Agin, indicates that the following routes in Abuja will be blocked on the 15th of January 2019 from 9 o'clock in the morning. The routes are the Court of Appeal Junction, Foreign Affairs Junction, Bayelsa House Junction, Benway House Junction. Others include Phase 3 Flyover, Aso Drive by Phase 3, and Polo Gates Bopol Gates behind National Arcade. And that's the news for now, which is Panorama. Do stay tuned for more news at 7 on Nationwide. Thank you for watching.